Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, how are we?
We're really well.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like we're pre-game to within an inch of our life.
It's not that dramatic. What is it, 3 glasses of wine?
We're on to the third bottle.
You are.
oh, word.
No, we are.
Yeah, no, you are. I've had 3 glasses
Your
of
mum
wine.
is.
Your mum is.
Oh, might be on my 4th. For our listeners, Clarky and Rui and Tony and I are all in the same room for once. We're recording together at Clarky and Wu's place up in the valley. That's rather exciting. And we also
The
have
dog's
Kipling
talking under
and
the table.
And dog.
Pino who are joining in,
Mhm.
which is so it's a bit of a family affair up here in the valley.
Yes.
It
There will
is.
be random dog noises made
There
throughout
may
the
be
podcast.
random dog noises.
Are the dogs enjoying each other's company?
They seem to be. The dogs are getting on great. Any news?
On my side, I don't believe so. No,
I've got
I mean not
some.
unless you count rain in Perth as news.
Well, you do, because every time we meet, you say there's never been any rain in Perth.
Well, it has rained in Perth. That is the news.
Woohoo.
What a thrill!
Did it rain on the plane or just everywhere?
Mainly.
No, just
Mainly
days
the
around
drain.
Yeah.
Right answer. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
And boys, any news from you two?
Well, yeah, my news is, so what are we at? 140
40. This
episodes?
is the 140th episode, yeah.
So my mum listened to the
Oh my
first
God.
episode and was
Oh God!
horrified. So if you haven't heard
Why?
it,
The penis prosthetic
go
attacker?
back and listen
What?
to
How
it.
could that horrify
And
anyone?
that's where my mum draws the line.
That's where my kids. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So that's where she's.
They like to bring it up all the time.
We came out of the gates hard, is all I've got to say.
We did.
doodles.
Latex hard. Anyway, my mum had surgery this week. She's fine, but she's decided that she'll listen to the podcast during her recovery. So
Convalescence.
she's now listening to all these things that I was fairly sure she wouldn't ever
God.
listen to, which is nice. And she said to me that I don't really listen to the stories. I just listen to the interactions because it's a nice way to get to understand you as an adult.
Oh my word!
So, Mum, this one goes out to you.
Oh, my Lord. Bronwyn, this is for you.
Do you think she's going to get this far?
She's
just means that she
literally
works
listening
backwards.
to them today, so
Oh, that's true.
she might go random. Who knows?
Yeah. All right.
She won't listen to episode 1 again. I'm confident
And
of
probably
that.
not episode 2.
She might scan through the
let's
witty
face it,
titles.
the first 15 you can probably skip if you're a new listener. We were a little
Go back
rough
and
and
listen.
we were working out what we were doing, but we got there after
Oh,
140.
because now it's so smooth now.
Oh, look at
I
us.
think you'll find
Right.
it's a well-oiled machine now, Swanee.
Oh God!
We were
I don't know
reminiscing
about
earlier
that.
today. I mean, notwithstanding
Yeah.
the possible technical issues of us all being in a room with 2 dogs growling under the table, but
And a Chrome update.
we were reminiscing today about when we did the Russian dolls, and that took us like
Yeah.
5 hours to do, and we were absolutely hammered. And the Watcher, of course, my infamous drunken mate.
Oh yes.
And I was pretty pissed when we did the Marie Joseph story as well. So there's been a few where
They were all very COVID-y ones,
They
weren't
were-
they?
they were-
There
they were
was a
early.
lot of
Yeah,
drinking
yes.
they
going
were,
on.
well, the Watcher wasn't so much, but yeah, we were testing our limits.
They were of a particular
Of a period.
yes, an era.
Yeah.
Definitely COVID.
Yeah. All right, well, I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky, and together we are
Trial. by
Wine.
In the same room, you got it. Fancy that.
I know,
Okay.
well, we'll see. And what are we drinking?
I don't think I should go through the back catalogue of what we've been drinking, so we'll just start with the one that we're having now.
What time did you guys start drinking?
4,
Lunchtime.
2.5
when-
hours
Oh,
ago.
okay,
Yeah.
Caroline and Tony
Okay.
arrived.
When
because
we
we're-
arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We kept ourselves nice until then.
Tidy.
So we're having a Star Lane.
We've got guests coming. running around going, hide this vacuum. It's like, no one lives here. Quick. No, I'm sure you won't.
Farmhouse.
Oh, it's vacuuming.
Impossible.
Tell the
Yes, I
truth.
know. So.
So we're having
I'm getting the scene from, because there's two lots of you looking at me and it looks like it's in quite a small room. I'm getting
It's like we're in a
the grandparents
caravan.
out of. No. It's it looks like you're both in a bed, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where there's the two grandparents
At either end.
and you're facing each
Yeah.
other like in a double bed.
Yes.
All four of you rugged up in the cold. You're like, oh my god,
Brilliant.
I'm getting like little Charlie Bucket's grandparents.
It is a bit like that, but earlier today when I was looking at us, when we were setting up, I thought it does look like we're in a caravan. I know we're in a kitchen, but there was something weird about because of us having to budge in together. It really does look like
I think it's the scales behind you that look quite old and antiquated.
Yeah.
Like, is that what I'm looking at?
antiquated
So
voice.
it looks sort of
Holes.
like a vintage kind of thing. So that's where I'm getting the Bucket's grandparents in the double bed.
They're compliments
Three
of my
buckets.
mum
Either
too,
end.
I
Charlie
think.
Bucket.
Are they from
Charlie
mum?
Bucket, isn't it?
You're your mum's
I
mum?
believe
think
you.
so.
I don't remember.
Thanks.
Anyway, yes. So which one? I can't remember any of them except for the one that ends up going to the factory with him.
The granddad, yeah. Granddad something, I don't know.
Grandpa Joe? Grandpa Joe?
Joe and Josephine.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe and Josephine, that's one.
Oh my God. A brain cell left somewhere. So what are you drinking, Swanee? A Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
Yeah.
I feel like we
Coke
barely
Zero.
said what
Yep.
we were drinking.
Well, you didn't get it out.
You
'cause She
didn't
was too
say.
busy talking about how she was getting the
That'd be rude if we
Grandpa
got it
Joe
out.
one.
Jeepers.
So go again.
We're having a Star Lane. It's very nice. 2017 Sangiovese. Smooth.
It is very nice. It's like dry finish, but it's very nice. And we did, prior to that, have a bottle of Merlot. Between four.
And then before that, we had a bottle of rosé.
Yeah, I know. You keep telling me we're on
And what
three,
happens
we're on 2.5,
next?
really, aren't we?
We
Well,
hit the Shiraz.
I don't know. Honestly, all bets are off as far as I'm
Shit's going to
concerned.
get real.
And we
I
might be
have a
sending
feeling.
4 stories to you, Carla, to read.
Yeah, Swanee, I hope you got your reading glasses nice and clean because you
They
might
are squeaky clean.
you
Current
may need to pick up the load. Who has a story for us?
Me.
Excellent. Go for it, Clarky.
Alrighty. So we're getting very close to the end of our Travels Around the World series. But today we're going to India.
Oh, I love India. Are we going to go to Kerala?
We loved India.
Back to Kerala.
We're not.
God's own
No.
country.
I knew there was a K word. A K word. Jeepers. Let me start with my sources before I forget them.
People in drunk houses shouldn't throw stones. Anyway.
Shouldn't drink wines. Should drink waters. So my sources are news.apblive.com, vocal.media.com, homegrown.co.in, good old Wikipedia. I'm going to pronounce this one wrong. Bhaktibara.com, an article by Selena Chef, and I couldn't for the life of me work out where she's posted it, but I found it anyway. Thanks, Selena. The Indian Express, news18.com, the northeasttoday.com, celebsagewiki.com, and a late edition by the Washington Post. Phew.
News just in.
Ah.
That's a late edition. News just in.
First with the
Washington
last.
Post.
So we're going to go to India. We were in India maybe
February.
4 months ago. Absolutely loved it. We were lucky enough to spend 15 days in Rajasthan, which is a beautiful part of India, jam-packed with colour, super friendly people, delicious food, palaces and forts, and of course, cows. Lots and lots of cows. So cows, for anyone who hasn't been to India, we probably all know they're sacred, but you literally go to a market and a cow will walk down the street alongside you, or you drive down the freeway and the bus driver slams on the brakes because a cow's decided to step out in front of the traffic. It's incredible, but also good. So a bit of a spoiler alert. Today's story is about a female killer.
I thought you were going to say a female cow.
From our cow killer.
You can judge that later.
She's not
And
okay.
so I thought it would be interesting to discuss the ways men and women kill before we get into the story.
Oh.
Because This is the late news from the Washington Post. They have an article which was based around an FBI supplemental homicide report data from 1999 through to 2012, which gives a bit of a comparison between men and women murdering. So they had data on 195,578 murder cases, 209,000 dead, and 240,000 killers. I can't really understand that math, but I'm sure it makes sense. So the first thing to know is that men commit so many more murders than women.
Check.
Like 90% of them.
Check.
And that every kind of weapon is used much more by guys, obviously. But we can still review the weapon preferences of men and women separately. So men use guns 2/3 of the time. I mean, also in America, that would be the case. In Australia, possibly
I
less
think
so.
in any country that's not regulated in the way that...
Where guns aren't regulated,
Yeah, correct.
you mean?
Yeah. Readily available.
I'm in
etc.
agreement.
Oh, well done. It was like a
Women
special
use
birthday
guns
gift I just
way less than half the time, although it still remains the most popular weapon among women, which I didn't
Guns.
know.
Sorry, what was the most popular?
Guns.
Guns.
Is that just because women kill way less? So women use them less, but women also kill exponentially less. So therefore, it's still a popular choice.
So if women are going to kill, their first preference is a gun.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Because they
which
don't
I
have
thought
to
was
get
interesting,
close.
right? Because
Yeah,
we
in the
don't,
old days, it was poison. Yeah.
again, in America.
Oh, okay, right.
I was going to say,
right.
because they've got
Yeah,
available.
available. Yeah,
Availability, yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
our mate Kathy Knight, she liked a good knife.
Yeah, but also this is from 1999 to 2012. So it's not historical data.
Say
True.
99 or 89.
99.
99. So I
99,
think
okay.
I've got a bit of a theory in my head that as we become a more equal society, and we're not there yet, don't get me wrong, but as we do become more equal, I think the differences between men and women will become less, but the similarities between arseholes and non-arseholes will become much clearer regardless of gender.
Okay.
Anyway, so work with me on that.
I have a gut feeling you're right.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to me. Anyway, so
Sure.
women are most likely to kill with guns. After guns, women are likely to use a knife to beat their victim to death or to strike them with a blunt object. After guns, poison is the sixth most common way for a woman to kill. How's that? I always thought women were poisoners. Not
Well,
poisoners.
I think it goes back to what was available in the day, and there was a certain sneakiness, and women could did all the domestic work. I think when you see societal changes, but also when we're talking about killing, are we talking about like wanton killing, or are we talking about defensive domestic violence? You know, like so when you talk about that's
murders
right?
in general.
So if I murder
So-
my husband and I get done for murdering my husband, but in point of fact, I was really defending myself because he was an abusive prick, and I got the family gun and I shot him.
I mean,
The
same goes with
statistically-
men, though, right? If a man's being
Yeah,
not
I'm
in
sorry.
a relationship,
Right.
a sexual relationship in general, if a man feels threatened by another man, similar kind of thing, right?
Yes, but all I'm saying is that the prevalence of guns being available and the way the statistics are being created, which is about just a general number of people who've killed as opposed to the motivation of the killing, then yes, I can see why guns are
100%.
at
It's
tops.
all about the killing, nothing to do
Not
with the
motivation,
motivation. And when you are going to kill, how do you choose to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, to me, that dispels what I thought, which was that women who are going to kill are most likely to do it with poison.
Yeah, I think that's an oldie worldy view.
I've never given it a great deal of thought. I don't know that I have my like a hierarchy of
Choices of how
weapon
you do
or
it.
choices. Yeah. What would I do? I suspect a lot of it's got to do with whether it's premeditated or not, and then what you've
Absolutely.
got access to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And possibly also serial killers. So if you're a female
Yeah.
serial killer, maybe you're more
Yeah.
likely to use poison than a one-off killer because of what you were talking about, Schmitty.
Yeah, it's easier to hide it, I think. If you want to continually kill people, it's easier to hide things like Well, unless you have an opportunistic crime where you stab someone and shove them in a dumpster or something. But otherwise, if you are...
It's certainly true of nurses, right?
Yes,
and those kind of who
yes.
end up getting themselves in a little bit of trouble. It seems
a
to be
little bit of
like,
trouble.
yeah, they're not walking with a gun and shooting someone. They're,
Also, if you're
Poisoning
using
them.
poison
Or
to kill in
misusing
self-defense, you're probably going to get killed. Hang on, let me just go and grab my poison from the cupboard.
Yeah. You're not going to use
And
poison
then-
yourself. I'll just throw my cyanide
Yeah.
in your face and hope it works.
Yeah, at best you'll both die.
Yeah.
Right, so still, men use guns for so much of their killing, and because women use guns much less frequently, it turns out that women tend to use other weapons more than men. So women use guns to kill less than 0.5%, which means there's all the other percent that aren't guns, whereas men use guns for, 2/3 or something,
Right.
which means there's less. So yes, poison is more popular among women killers than it is amongst men, but still, poison's not a very popular weapon. So it's used in just under 1/2% of murders.
This is a very low statistic, isn't it?
Super
One in two.
low.
yeah.
Poison is used in just under 1/2% of murders. That's using a definition of poisoning that includes standard poisons and also murdering with a poisonous use of narcotics or sleeping pills.
So that includes like nurses who kill.
I would assume so.
Yeah, okay.
Unless they don't
Well,
kill
because they
with
misuse medication generally.
poisons. If they kill by strangling,
No, they generally
Well,
kill
should
by
be just up the
misuse of
morphine.
medication. So, like, they'll give you insulin when you don't need it.
yeah,
or
so
something
I would
like that.
assume that.
Stop it, naughty dogs.
If they behead you in hospital, it wouldn't include that.
Well, no, that's not a poison.
Exactly.
Correct.
You just said, does that include nurses who kill in hospital?
Because we're talking about poison. Anyway,
Yeah,
keep going.
Which, so it does not include poison gas, which the FBI lumps under asphyxiation.
Is that like carbon monoxide or
I mean, it could be.
poisonous gas?
Just
Have you seen
gas, like-
James Bond? I reckon there'd be
Turn
a
your
couple
stove
of...
on. Put them in a car.
all right, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
In a car in the garage.
hose up the exhaust
carbon
pipe.
monoxide.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's a suicide way, not
Oh, I reckon you could make it look like suicide.
accurate.
Anyway.
Oh, watch out
I
for
saw that
then.
look.
So even with that tiny share, the vast majority of those cases involve one killer and one victim. So not a serial killing
Oh,
event.
okay, right. Well, multiple.
And they knew each other well. Since a few cases involve multiple killers or victims, there are a total of 936 deceased and 1,108 offenders.
So more offenders than dead people.
No, so 901 murder cases, 936 deceased
Yeah.
in those 901 cases, 1,108 offenders.
So,
So more
More
killers
offenders.
than those murdered.
right. So does that mean that's counting like if there are two people trying to kill one person? Possibly.
Well, I assume that's the only way you could get that.
Oh, okay. I know, right?
A group job.
So that's a big enough group to draw some fair conclusions about who uses it and who is killed. Women are 7 times as likely as men to choose poison as their murder weapon. As I said before, which I don't think I did, but
Hang
the
on,
article
7
did.
times as likely. Does that mean 7 times more likely than a man to choose poison? But it was the 6th on the list of the women's choices.
Correct. So,
I feel like this is very.
so poison is low down on the list for
But
both
women
men
are
and
more
women,
likely to do
but
it.
women are 7 times more likely to murder
choose
with
it.
poison.
Okay.
And so there are 9 male killers for every 1 woman. So in raw numbers, more men kill with poison than women do. But among male murderers, poison is used in just over 1/3 of 1% of killings. For women, it's
Can't
used in
do
more than
this anymore.
2.5%. Bonnie, you'd be all over this with
Sonny,
the
have you got
math,
the
wouldn't
math?
you?
Well, numbers.
But
My
I
math.
don't do math.
No, it's like
What?
the glaze. It's like, oh my god, the numbers. It's like 1/3 of 0.3%.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
You
what?
lost me at
Why are we
percent.
talking about thirds and percents? Yeah, why have we got imperial and metric? What's going on here?
Did you say a certain
He
percent?
did.
Yeah.
He did.
I thought so,
Wow.
yeah. At that point, I literally went, my brain.
What? What the?
Also, the numbers don't lie. Like Shakira's hips, the numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't make any
They don't
sense.
lie.
Anyway,
I just can't understand them. Yeah.
yeah, I can't
Yeah.
understand them either. So what's the upshot, Clarky? What are you trying to say here? What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I'm going to tell you about someone who poisons as their choice of killing.
But poison in all of that is not like the number one choice, but women are more likely to do it. I think is that what
100%.
we took from that?
It's like number 6 for women,
I just
but
want
they're
to go,
7 times more likely.
just distill it up to a salient
All
point.
right. So if you're going to get chilled by a woman,
Yeah, it's
chilled,
more
also
likely.
killed,
Yeah,
by a
killed
woman.
or killed by a woman.
it's unlikely you'll get poisoned.
But
But
it's
if you're going to
more
get
likely.
poisoned,
Yeah.
it's more likely that
It
a
was done by
woman
a
would
woman.
choose that
Okay.
than a man would.
Excellent. Okay.
Good chat?
Excellent.
Good chat.
Let's get back to the story.
No, let's stick with the math. You know? I was just starting to get up to speed with the first part that you used. I'm ready to go now.
Do you remember back in the day when you used to use calculators to spell words?
Boobies.
So
Yeah.
can I boobies?
Boobless.
100%. Yeah, all of that.
Shell
I'm
oil.
thinking I could just tell this story
Shell oil and boobless of I too.
and calculator words.
Did you have to put it upside down?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of oiled boobies though,
8008
wouldn't
something
it?
something.
Yeah.
Too much. Let's go to Bengaluru, which is also
Let's.
known as Bangalore,
Bengaluru.
and it's
Oh.
in India's southern Karnataka state.
Bangalore. What did you call it? What's its new name?
Bengaluru
Bangalore. It sounds like somewhere like next to Benelong. Bangalore.
or Bundalong,
Bengaluru.
which is near us,
Bendelong. Sounds very Australian now. Bangalore.
or Peru.
Bangalore.
Sounds like
Bangalore,
Peru,
darling.
with a whole lot of
Bangalore.
binging going on.
Bangalore.
Right.
In Bangalore. Right.
So Bengaluru is a city of approximately 14 million people, and it's
That all?
known as India's IT hub.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now, in Bengaluru, back in 1970, a baby was born in Kagalipura, located on the outskirts of Bangalore, or Bengaluru, and her name was KD Kempama. We're going to talk a lot about KD Kempama.
Katie Lane.
It's not a Katie Lang, is it?
From Power.
She doesn't have the same skills as KD Lang.
Does she sing in
But-
bare feet?
She does have some skills. Have you heard her version of Hallelujah?
Her version of Hallelujah.
KD Kempama's.
You should hear it.
Katie Kempama does sound like she could be a pop star.
Well,
But
Born for it.
she chose the
Yeah.
other path.
Oh.
The dark side.
Yeah.
The dark side.
I feel like we've discussed Diana, who was a murderer and a pop star.
Yeah. We've been here, yeah.
Yeah. So this lady's exactly the same as Diana, except not a pop star.
She's
So her
shaman.
family,
That's Cert 3 shamanism.
yeah, also without shamanism, but it is that story.
Not that at all. Okay, right, okay.
So you could call this one Cert 3 Cyanidism.
Okay. Just Cert 3 cyanide, I think, yeah.
Yeah, also.
I have a
You should start
certificate 3
offering
in
that at your
cyanide.
educational institution. If you ever need to, I'll
It's
give
only
you
got
a
one
list.
unit in it, though. Like, honestly, here's cyanide. This is how you dole it out to kill people. We need at least 400 nominal hours so
Make
they
some
get
money
good
off
funding
it.
out of it. That's right.
I'll give you some friends. Or not friends. Your side effects, how to get away with,
I mean, true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you could stretch it out.
flesh it out.
Yeah.
Your truth stretcher.
True stretch. I love it.
Your core stretch.
So good old KD Kempama's family was of modest means, as were the majority of the other families in the village. Kempama, however, always had an ambitious mind. Ambitious mind she had.
He's channeling
Been watching
Yoda.
Star Wars lately, yeah. She'd always been attracted to a more opulent lifestyle. I mean, she's not Robinson Crusoe there, is she?
What? She's not Robinson Crusoe. Did you mean Robinson Crusoe?
Yeah, she's not alone there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
right.
Oh, right.
Thank you
like
for
it.
explaining that.
Yeah.
And she was still in favour of taking the shortest route to get her objectives.
She's not Robinson Crusoe there either.
Right?
Now that I understand that reference.
Have you never heard that before?
No, never.
Wow, I get one back.
I was like, today
Schmitty,
old.
1,872. Clarky, 1.
Clarky won.
Yeah, exactly. She married a tailor as a teenager and became a mother soon after. The couple had 2 more children and became a family of 5. So that's not like the Brady
3
Bunch.
kids.
It's 2 parents and 3 children.
Yeah.
Swanee?
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're doing math.
You're doing well.
Basic math.
You're
I'm
doing
good.
quite well.
Yeah. This is the bit where I get a little bit sort of confident, and I'll go downhill after this. I think I've introduced down. I'll think it was so good there for a
I
while.
had it. I had the 2 and 3 is 5.
Yeah.
However, Kempama was dissatisfied with life's offerings. She desired more, much more. She was working away as a house help and needed a way to make some easy money. Now, in Silence of the Lambs, they said we covered what we see every day.
I was thinking sex work. No?
Dirty Mole. She's not like that.
Oh, okay.
We cover what we see every day, and this is true in Kempama's case. She was working in other people's houses and began stealing from their homes. Classic get-rich-quick scheme, right?
Not really.
She also decided to start a chit fund near her
chit
home
fund?
to help her achieve her goals.
Sorry, a what fund?
What's a chit fund, I hear you ask?
Chits.
Not a shit fund.
C-H-I-T?
C-H-I-T.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what that is.
Carla's
Do
missed
you want me to
all
tell
of
you, or
that.
do you want to tell
No,
me?
no, go ahead.
No, you go.
Carla, it's a shit fund.
It's not a shit fund. A chit is like a... What's like a
I
little...
want to say a puck, but
No. A chit is like someone writes you a chit. So they write you an IOU or, that sort of thing. What's your
I've never
definition
heard
of a chit?
Anyway, so I Googlised it. And
Wait,
according
can you
to our
do
friends at
true
Wiki,
Mhm.
a chit fund is a type of rotating savings and credit association system practiced in India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and other Asian countries.
And how does it work? Does someone write you an IOU? A
Chit fund schemes may be organised
Mm.
by financial institutions or informally among friends,
Mm.
relatives, or neighbours.
Oh.
In some variations of chit funds, the savings are for a specific purpose. Chit funds are often microfinance organisations.
Yeah, I'll give you $5. I owe you $5.
I mean, that could be part of it. It's not the definition.
it's chit.
Well, okay. Not of a chit fund per se. but
You're talking chit.
if you go back to the original definition of a chit,
You chit talker.
which is
Tell
an
me
English
that.
expression. Sure, Google
What a
it.
load of
I do
old
not.
shit.
This feels very
you've never heard
math-like.
about a chit?
I've never heard of it. What?
This whole episode is very mathy,
I've
isn't
never
it?
heard of it either.
It is. And now I've read it, and one of the explanations, I don't even understand it. Because it says here,
It's got something to do
a
with
chit
math,
fund is a
Carla.
type of investment when members agree to come together and deposit a prearranged amount of money in a pot. Later, this is where I really don't understand it, the member who bids the lowest amount for the pot gets the money. Why?
Okay, fine. But going back to my point, a short official note is typically recording a sum owed, i.e. an IOU, is what a chit is.
Yes,
I've got
not a
other
chit fund.
definitions.
No, not
chit.
that.
Yeah.
That's why I was going down chit.
Okay,
Chit is the
okay,
traditional
chit.
definition, is it?
Enough of this chit.
Yes.
I know,
I
right?
agree.
Chit chat.
At any rate,
No.
go on, tell us more about the chit fund.
Thanks, Paul.
No, I'm done with chits.
What's
All
You give me
chitted
the
This
out.
is giving me the chit.
Yes.
your fund for chit?
Her chit company suffered significant losses, and the family of 5 was engulfed in debts as a result of her actions.
What a load of old shit.
Wow. What a load of old shit. So this would no doubt have brought shame to the family, and Kempama was thrown out of the house by her husband in a fit of rage in 1998. Following the
chit-chat.
loss of her business and of her home, she was forced to find new ways to make money.
Back to Back to Swanee and I
Always
gesticulating the old
It has
BJ.
nothing to do with her throat.
No BJ's, right.
After working as domestic help for a while, she finally found employment at a goldsmith's. That too,
Oh, cyanide.
however, didn't work out. Have you seen Bridesmaids, where
Yes.
she's in the jeweler shop and the girl says, "You're a washed up old hag" or something? And she says, "Well, you're a little..."
See you next Tuesday. No, I
Correct.
don't recall that.
Oh,
That's
it's,
A bit
hilarious.
I nearly died.
I found Bridesmaids kind of funny but also very disturbing. I might have to rewatch it.
Found it very normal.
You give it a crack.
I do like Melissa McCarthy in it.
It's coming
The
out of me
hand
like
basin.
lava.
That's the scene that I remember the most, is the poo scene.
Yeah.
The terrible
jewel-
I like
diarrhea.
that, and when she's on the plane, when she was trying to seduce the air
Oh,
marshal.
yes.
She's
Love it.
And
put a
leg
leg
up.
up on the
Yeah.
Yes, that was good.
and it turns out he is the air marshal.
Yeah.
Yes. Right, so that job didn't work out very well. However, the job wasn't in vain, as she
Oh, no, what did she
managed to
find out
get
there?
her hands on something that would be her one-way ticket to riches. No, not gold or jewellery.
A chemical?
Something far more sinister. Cyanide.
Cyanide. Did I not say cyanide a minute ago?
Yes, you did. You did.
Because
you
of the
did,
gold
you did.
business. You know, I think
Yes.
they use it. Do they not use it to clean or?
They do use it to clean.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
to
yeah.
Googlise
Yeah.
that for the story,
Yeah.
but of course you know that. Tony, don't ever buy a gold.
You can buy, just don't let it clean it.
Katie Kimpama says that movies she watched taught her about cyanide and its use as a poison.
What was that, Ghost?
I was going to say, which Bollywood movie would that have been?
Gold member?
Gold.
Yes, you have to be telling them, remember.
He had the Midas touch, but he touched it too much.
With the
Midas
Midas
Here you go, member.
A spider's touch, Mr. Goldfinger.
Now you're talking Goldfinger.
I know the
We're
original.
gold membering.
I know.
Well, before we continue the story, I thought I'd ask how familiar are we with the side effects of cyanide?
Is this the one
No.
that makes
No.
you like
Oh,
Phone?
Schmidt
foam at the mouth? Is it, or is that arsenic?
I think it's arsenic, but I also think that's what makes your victims froth at the mouth, not you froth at the mouth.
So back in wartime, didn't they have something in their tooth?
It takes 2 minutes. It's agonising. It's terribly painful, from what I understand. Probably shuts down your whole system, all your organs and everything. I do know it's painful. It takes a couple of minutes to kill you, because I was just researching this recently. And
Have you got it? Has she got dirty gold jewellery, Tony?
no, it was to do with something I was reading about something I've.
I mean, obviously, it wasn't legitimate.
And you're
Should the
right.
cops
They
come
used
knocking?
to use
They used to put them in their tooth,
It's very quick though, and they used to have. I think it was a false
a
tooth.
little
They
capsule
would
or something.
You
clamp
had it around
down-
your neck, and you could just
Oh,
go.
Or,
and-
or
yeah,
they
yeah,
keep
yeah.
a little capsule in a false tooth
The
and
spies
they crush
did.
it. Yeah. So they could die quickly, so they wouldn't give up their secrets. But I think it's quite a painful death. It's very uncomfortable.
So if you had it in a false tooth, you had to take the false
No,
tooth
you
out.
No, no, no,
push
it's in
down
there
on
all
the
the
tooth
time.
to crack the tooth and
Just
break
in case
everything.
they arrest you and they.
Jesus, I you know, wouldn't
I
want
know,
the
like,
kind
I
of thing I do by accident.
I bit down on a fork and chipped a tooth, and it was very traumatic. So I
Yeah.
didn't come up for this
You
cyanide.
chipped a tooth?
My
No.
front tooth.
Biting
I
down
bit
on
my
a
fork.
Yeah, I bit my.
I'll tell you a little bit about cyanide. So if hydrogen cyanide is inhaled, it can cause a coma with seizures, apnea, and cardiac arrest, with death following in a matter of seconds.
Oh, that's good.
At lower
That's
doses, loss of
it's
consciousness may
inhaled
be
versus swallowed. Yeah.
also, I think the different types
Or does
and
it-
obviously the concentration. But yeah, I think if you inhale, it would be quick. So at lower doses, loss of consciousness may be preceded by general weakness, dizziness, headaches, vertigo, confusion, and perceived difficulty in breathing.
Perceived or actual?
Well,
I feel
think
like
initially
actual.
perceived.
Okay.
If you're watching someone,
Oh, okay.
you might go, "Oh, they're just struggling to breathe," when in fact they're dying. Are we clear? At the first stages of unconsciousness, breathing is often sufficient or even rapid, although the state of the person progresses towards a deep coma, sometimes accompanied by pulmonary edema, not to be confused with funky cold, Medina, and finally cardiac arrest.
Oh God.
A cherry red skin colour that darkens may be present as the result of
It's
increased.
interesting. Only because I learned today that if you asphyxiate yourself through carbon monoxide poisoning, you're also cherry red.
How did you learn that
I was
today?
listening to a book.
A cherry red skin colour that darkens may be present as the result of increased venous hemoglobin oxygen saturation,
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
which of course we all know, obviously.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Despite the similar name, cyanide does not directly cause cyanosis.
Of which I didn't know what cyanosis was.
I
What's
feel like we all know
cyanosis?
that too.
What's cyanosis?
It's not. I guess it's a lot of cyanide in your system.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
math,
On that
Swanee.
one,
You
tell
need to
me.
pay attention.
No, it doesn't matter.
I know it's studying between chemistry now, and I'm studying to really
Chemistry.
Cyanosis
maths and
is the
chemistry.
change
We
of
do
body
physics.
tissue colour to a bluish purple hue as a result of decrease in the amount of oxygen. So, hang on. A photal dose for humans can be as low as 1.5
It's nothing.
milligrams
That's
per
right.
kilogram
It's
of
really
body weight.
tiny enough.
So,
Yeah,
teeny tiny.
teeny tiny
Right.
amount.
Okay, so I'm going to do things a bit differently. First up, it's going to be her MO, and then we'll talk about some of her victims before going into how she was caught. So there won't be any surprises, Swanee.
Oh dear.
With cyanide in her hands, all she now needed was a plan to bring in the money.
Show me the money.
Katie Kopala.
Okay.
First of all, she needed a target, or Schmitty, a mark.
Oh, not a big W or a Kmart, which would suffice if there's
No.
no target available.
No.
Right.
No,
Okay.
a mark.
A
Let's
mark.
go with a mark.
Yeah.
And the most straightforward seemed to be duping women in distress. Poor women in distress. Like everyone's just
I'm
at
in
them.
distress. I'm
Let them
fucking
alone.
Poor
disgusted.
dress. Wear pants.
Women in distress or just women? Let's just face it. Victims.
Yes, but also women in distress.
The specific dress, yes.
Lady in
Never
red.
wear a label that says woman in distress
No.
because
Because you're a victim. Victim here. Victim here.
but not just any women in distress. It was women from well-off families who needed to help that became her primary target.
How'd she find them?
But how could she find them? I'm
good
glad you
question.
asked. And how could she gain their trust so that she could then poison them? Kempama would loiter around temples watching who was coming and going. She'd keep track of what was going on. She kept a close eye on the regulars who seemed to be in a lot of pain. When the time was right, she would approach them pretending to be a holy woman and lend her ears to their problems. She was well aware that they were in pain, and once they told her their stories, she knew just what they desired. She would then offer to assist them with a mandala puja,
Okay.
Oh.
which she
right.
promised would solve all of their problems.
When you say mandala puja, is that like I know what a mandala is? What's the puja bit? What does that
I'm
mean?
glad you asked.
Right.
Again. And let's take a little side note here to discuss a mandala puja.
Okay.
Wow, it's like we scripted this.
It's like I've gone back to my year 12, religious camp at anyway.
12
where we
religious
had-
camp.
Year 12, we did
Fuck.
a religious camp.
You hung around that shit way
Mandalay
too
or
long.
somewhere like that, and we had to do a mandala.
Was there a
Isn't
lot
like
of
a
What is it? I've never
mandala
heard
like
of
a
it.
beautiful
Yes, it is.
floral
And
thing?
now I think about it, I think, well, that's a bit of cultural appropriation, wasn't it? That's what I was made to do to get
Cool.
to, I don't know, some kind of spirit.
And what's a puja?
I don't know what a puja is.
Kumbaya.
The religion had, trust me, nothing to do with that camp. It was all about hornbag Catholic kids wanting to be hornbag Catholic kids. Trust me.
Hornbag
Catholic
Catholic
kids.
kids.
That's what
What'd
that
you get up to, Schmitty?
Amberley fucking religious camp that we went to. I got up to nothing because I was not,
A hornbag Catholic kid?
I wasn't there yet.
Because you were like the lady on the outside, just watching everyone, looking for their weaknesses, ready to pounce as the holy lady, ready to pounce.
No. I just wasn't there. Fast forward 5-6 years and I was all over that shit. But at that time, no. Tell me
Back to
what a
mandala
puja
pujas.
is.
So it's probably a little bit similar to shamanism that we spoke about, but also not. It's a 41-day long period of procedures, routines, and discipline with strict
A puja
rituals.
is.
puja. A mandala puja is
What's sorry, did I misunderstand the meaning of a mandala? Did I get that wrong?
No, I looked that up. That is like that. It's
The patterny thing.
like a geometric.
so.
Yeah.
I think you're mistaking a mandala
For a
with
mandala
a mandala
puja.
puja.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, like you can have a
Oh.
leopard and a leopard print.
Oh, great. Swanee
Not the
goes.
same.
Swanee goes, oh, as if she's like, yeah, me too.
No one,
Okay.
no one will get
So I'm like, oh,
killed by a
Do
leopard,
tell.
but their character might
Do
get
tell.
assassinated by a leopard print.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Please
A
explain.
mandala puja is a 41-day long period of procedures, routines,
Oh.
and discipline with strict rituals. Not a 41-day long period, Swanee.
Okay.
The
I've
devotee
had that before.
observes.
Bloody days, but we put flood relief concert we had to have. I can't remember if that was when I was at uni or at school. I think I was at uni. We were going to have the flood relief concert 40 days before.
Right.
So remember the 40 days, 40 nights?
40
Is it
hours
41 days because they're all about
Yeah, similar.
one-upmanship? I
41.
see your 40 days and
I raise you one more.
So regime 41.
Yeah.
During this period, the devotee observes a fast which helps to purify their soul and enhances the clarity of vision.
Yeah, sure does.
Uh-huh.
Because trust me, if you don't eat for a few days, you're very clear.
I feel like
Or
this
whack.
red wine's enhancing my clarity of vision. Through mandala puja, the devotee gets an incredible holy boon. Generally, mandala puja is performed to please the devotee's deity, whatever the form of the Bhagwan may be. Mandala worship usually begins with receiving initiation from a skilled guru who is very virtuous in the Vedas and Shastras. Who do you reckon that skilled guru is?
Katie Lang.
Okay, well,
Katie
Kempama.
Katie Kampama. What is it?
Compama? Katie Compama.
Yeah.
Katie Compama.
During the mandala puja, non-vegetarian food, indulgences of any kind, entertainment, spicy food,
no fun.
lies, immoral acts, bad company, bad thoughts, inappropriate behaviour, any kind of fun, this
No
podcast
fun zones. Yeah.
are all prohibited.
Yeah.
After the conclusion of the mandala puja, the devotee makes a pilgrimage to the temple of their favourite city. I'm exhausted.
All the math, all the chemistry,
Now that's some geography.
and
coming
all
All
the
the
religion.
pujas.
I know. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So once her mark agreed to the mandala puja, Kempama would perform the initiation for them. She would ask them to put on their most precious dress and all of their jewels for the pilgrimage. She would often invite them to a temple on the outskirts of town that they were unfamiliar with. She would then ask them to close their eyes and pray. Then she would get them to drink her holy water. Oh, actually,
Oh.
before I
Yeah.
get into that,
What's her holy
Remember-
water? What makes her holy
Cyanide
water?
spritzer.
Oh
Remember
my
Diana?
God, is
Cyanide
it?
spritzer.
No,
and she would
Cyanide
get them to
spritzer.
close their eyes and wait for the money to fall.
Diana.
So she would ask them to
Was she
close their
Malaysian?
eyes and pray. Yeah, she was. And she was a pop star. What was she
Oh,
though?
was she? Yeah.
So
Not like
Kempama would
Katie
get them to
Compama.
close their eyes and pray
Oh.
rather than close their eyes and wait for the money. And then she didn't get her assistant to
Cut their head off.
axe them in the head.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Oh,
Christ.
God.
She just asked them to drink her holy water, which is really cyanide-laced water. Nothing
Oh.
holy about it. Once the
Cyanide
woman
spritzer.
had stopped breathing, she would rob her of all her money and jewels. After each robbery killing, yes, right, that's right, there's more,
I'm sure there
she
are.
assumed a new identity before proceeding to repeat the process once again with another woman.
So she started with KD, and then she's KP, and then she's
Yeah.
KC, and then she's KL. She's just
All the
changed
letters.
her.
Yeah,
Just
from
change-
Kuala Lumpur to Kempama.
AL.
So you've got it. Now that you understand her MO, I'll tell you a little bit about her known victims. On the 19th of October 1999, approximately a year after her husband abandoned her, Kempama committed her first murder in Hoskote, or Hoskote, maybe, in Bengaluru's outskirts. Her victim was a 30-year-old Mamatha Rajan, who was killed while she was praying at a temple. Then, in 2000, Kempama was arrested by police in Badadi for an unrelated crime. She'd been trying to rob valuables from a house where she'd been invited to perform a ritual on a woman.
She's just a feral. But isn't she? She's just like she's stealing.
It's a bad egg.
She's a very bad egg.
Yeah,
She's stealing
terrible
from
egg.
houses. She's killing people right, left, and centre. She's an opportunistic feral.
I feel like, I think we've discussed this before. She's, Swanee, it might have been your reference.
desperate.
She's base.
Yeah.
She's all about
she's
the
very
base.
base.
All about
She's
the
like-
base.
No trouble. No trouble.
That's right. She's lots of trouble. This one.
Like, there's just not a lot to her.
The base,
Okay.
all the base.
Yeah, so she'd been trying to rob valuables from a house where she'd been invited to perform a ritual on a woman. However, at some point, the victim realised things weren't right and was able to sound the alarm by screaming. The victim was
Ooh.
saved by her family, and Kempama was arrested for stealing valuables. She was subsequently convicted of the crime and sentenced to 6 months in prison and was released afterward. However,
She's ready to go again.
in 2007, she must have needed a quick injection of significant funds
Hold my beer.
and went on a killing spree.
Oh my God! What?
Oh.
So that was 2000.
Yeah.
She was arrested.
and she was very disappointed
months.
because she.
And then there's a gap.
Yeah, because she'd been cashing in all our costume jewelry because from 99 to 2005 the jewelry wasn't great, and then
No, 99 to 2000. And
Oh,
then
in a year.
7-year gap. So 6 months in prison, nothing happened there. Or did it?
Dun, dun, dun.
In 2007, Kempama killed 5 more women between October the 10th and December the 18th. Her second victim was Elizabeth.
Jesus, that's a real escalation. That's like 6 weeks,
Right?
isn't it? 6, 7 weeks.
It's off your
October,
tits
November, December.
busy.
That is real busy. Yeah.
So Elizabeth was
Woman.
52 and from Saturner. Elizabeth was praying to find her missing granddaughter. Kempama lured
Aw.
her to the Kabalama temple and killed her.
With
Using
cyanide
her.
again. Yeah.
They're all,
Just how
it's all her. She's got one MO.
right.
One.
Oh. She lacks any kind of creative flair. She's just,
Maybe a different name, maybe a different temple, you know.
yeah, I don't know.
She's
But-
just so unoriginal.
Katie Kempama.
Kempama's third victim was Yashadama, age 60. She was killed at Siddhaganga Mut, Kayata Sandra in December 2007. I feel like I nailed that.
Yeah. Totally.
Kempama promised to perform a ritual to offer her relief from asthma.
It will give you relief from asthma. She's not wrong.
Yeah, it'll give you a relief from everything.
Cleared that up. Yeah.
The fourth victim was 60-year-old Muniyama, who wished to sing devotionals. She was from Yelahanka and killed at Yadaya Siddleningwasha Tempa. I feel like I pronounced everything right except temple.
Right.
Are you in Japan?
Siddling Yasho Temple.
Siddlingawasha Temple. Her fifth victim was Palama, age 60, and killed at Madhu Vyadhyanathapura. Palama was a temple priest at Hebel Temple. Kempama told Palama that she would sponsor a new arch for a Hebel Temple,
But she didn't.
but she did not. Also,
Did not.
so
Did
when
not.
we were in India, we went to a temple and they said you couldn't take any leather in, anything.
Cyanide.
Oddly, I didn't understand why.
I know, and I had
Now
all
I
that
do.
with me.
But so
Oh,
we had to leave
leather.
our wallets.
You said leather because, by the way, I
Yeah.
understand that because of cows. But
Yeah, so you had to leave all your, listen to the
Oh,
story
right.
though. So you had to leave your wallets outside the temple. Then you go into the
Oh.
temple and there's a bloke in the temple trying to scam us for money.
not
Oh,
trying
come
to sell
with
you
me.
leather.
I'll
Yeah.
give you a prayer to help you have a long and prosperous life, whatever it was. We're like, oh, okay, sure, why
Sure.
not?
Yeah.
So we go over into some
€60.
really remote part of
Yeah.
the temple and he starts doing this
Mm.
prayer on us. I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet as. And then he goes, oh, now I need, $1
$500
billion.
Gazillion dollars.
Whatever he wanted.
And then I
Well,
got
like-
out me.
We don't have our wallets.
Me
You
leather
can't bring your
G-string.
wallet in here, mate.
My wallet's made of leather. I cannot have brought it in, so it sucks.
It's
to
like
be
a
you.
shark being a predator on the savannah. Come over here and I'll tell you a story, but I actually can't do anything. Who's got money in that temple? No
Swanee,
one.
Do you remember when we went to the Vatican and we couldn't get in because we were
Yes.
dressed like skanks?
I put was you, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Was it? Yes,
I think-
you.
Oh,
yeah,
well
just
played,
put top
Swanee.
over
Well
your
played,
shoulders.
Swanee. I
I've
could
been
get
there
in,
before. I was
but
like, go
you
on
were
your own.
just like
I've
a
seen it
skank.
before.
You had been before and I hadn't, and I think you waited for me
Yeah, yeah,
outside
I've
because I
seen it
think
a
you
few
had that
times.
red halter-neck
Yeah,
top
I
on.
couldn't
Did
wear
you
a
choose that,
halter neck
maybe?
top because I
Yeah.
was a whore of Babylon. That's right.
The whore of the halter-neck. I can't even say it. The whoring.
The
halter-neck
whore of Babylon. So I appreciate that, temples have their rules. That's all I'm saying.
When I took
Yes,
out,
but don't predate on people in a temple where they can't bring money in.
No, fair enough.
What a dumbass.
That's the point.
Stupid.
It's just a silly, bad business model. Yeah.
Lucky
Give
you
me
didn't
money.
cyanide the fuck out
We,
of us.
we
though.
weren't allowed to bring money in, you dickhead.
But we can cyanide the fuck out of you and get nothing
Why
for
was
it
there
except
such
a
a
dead
low
body.
return rate in this temple? Kimpama's last victim was Nagavini, a 30-year-old woman that was praying to become pregnant as she was childless. She wished to have a son. Kimpama summoned Nagavini to a temple for a special prayer and offered her poison as an offering.
No, not.
Not literally. It's the old holy water scam.
Excuse me, would you like some cyanide as an offering?
What's
I'll
that?
splash you with this acid.
It's
What's
my
that?
new perfume.
It's like fish. Is that right, Carla? I'm not good at the French. You're better at it than me. It's poisson.
what was it?
Poisson, fish, or
Poisson.
small chicken.
Poisson.
Have some fish.
Poisson is fish.
Poisson. Would you like
Poisson.
some poisson?
Yeah,
Oh, I'd love some fish.
Poisson.
I mean,
Poisson,
sorry,
poisson, but-
my accent's
Can you not
different.
spray it in my
I
eyes, though?
I meant cyanide. When I
Cyanide.
said fish, when
Oops.
you heard fish, I meant cyanide.
That's a problem with French as a second language. So KD Kimpama pronounces poison as holy water.
Okay, good to know.
Right.
So Kimpama summoned Nagavini to a temple for a special prayer and offered her holy water as an offering. She fled with Nagavini's jewellery. At the time, Kimpama had checked into a lodge using a name Malaka, and it was this name that the media picked up on,
Malaka.
which they
Great
gave
fish,
the unnatural the name of Cyanide Malaka. I mean Malika.
Good old cyanide Malaka. Yeah.
That's Greek.
Yeah.
Well, we're crossing all cultures here today.
But
We've done
Malika is her
French, we've
name.
done-
Malaka is the joke. So there were other victims that Kimpama, also known as Cyanide Malaka, was
It
alleged to
means
have killed.
masturbator. I didn't know that.
Kimpama does.
Masturbating man. Malaka, it says in Greek, means
You're a wanker.
masturbator. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wanker.
Wanker,
yeah.
yeah.
Man who masturbates.
Malaka.
Coglione.
Yeah, I would have thought it was wanker.
I don't think Coglione Pippa means that actually, by the way.
Moichiroite
I'm sure it's a
kudasai?
boring wanker, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think that must be a dialect, if anything, because I literally looked it up the other day. I did Google Translate.
We just made it up. I don't really think.
No,
I don't
the
think we
men
did it
said
right.
that to us, but I
Also-
don't think it was real.
Oh, did they?
The men
Oh, I don't
said
really-
it
I
was
thought we looked
Coglione
up.
Pippa. I did not make that up. The Italian waiters.
No, I thought we just said the word.
When I said, come
Oh,
si
okay.
dice boring wanker in Italiano,
Boring wanker.
he said Coglione Pippa,
Oh.
and that's where we got it from. But I don't think it means
Okay.
that at all.
There were other victims that Kimpama or Cyanide Malaka was alleged to have killed, including 22-year-old Renica at a pilgrim centre at Kola district in 2006. Renica was murdered in a temple dormitory on the 7th of December. Renica's sister Mani asserted that Kimpama could have murdered Renica. Renica was staying with Mani at Mani's house while Renica's husband was away working in Dubai. Mani worked as a domestic worker in a place where Kimpama worked as a cook. Kimpama visited Mani's house often and befriended Renica. Renica's husband Shankar originally reported Renica missing to the police on the 29th of December 2006 when he returned from Dubai. Renica had been missing since the 7th of December 2006. Allegedly, Kimpama, aka Malaka, told Renica that she could give birth to a male baby if Malaka conducted a special ritual at the temple. The police asserted that Kimpama murdered Renica at the temple. Many other families have also come forward claiming their missing family members may have been murdered by Kempema, as Kempema knew them all.
Is that awful, though, that you go to a place where you're trying to, pray and worship and someone just
Find
kills you
peace.
there? Yeah, that's so shocking.
Yeah, when you get people at their most vulnerable and then go, let's get them. No.
It's awful. Mole, yeah. Malaka mole, yeah. I love the way that we just take it to such a deep
A base. Well, she's base.
Okay, Malaka mole, yeah. Right.
5
Basic
cases of missing persons were associated with Kempema in 2009. 2 of these 5 women's bodies were found and subsequently linked to Kempema. So that's her victims.
Yeah.
A lot that we know she did, and there's a whole lot
That we
don't
maybe
know.
think she might have, but we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to know how the police caught her?
Mm-hmm.
Righto.
It was a sting, wasn't it?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
You tell me afterwards.
Okay.
While the murders of Bengaluru women were taking place outside the city, mainly in shrine towns, some of the cases were closed after unnatural death reports. As cyanide was used, the bodies of women decomposed at a faster rate.
Yeah, gross.
That's the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Besides detecting the presence of cyanide, the police had no leads. There was no forced entry, no injuries on the body, and in many cases, investigators even assumed it to be suicide.
I was going to say, did they think it was suicide? Yeah.
Little effort went into probing further.
Because who cares, right? Women.
And what did we call them before? Women in distress?
Victims. Yeah.
Umesh, who retired as a superintendent of police, recalls that he was an inspector at Kalasipalia police station in December 2007 when he read a newspaper article on a woman named Yashodama whose body was found in a lodge at Madur. And I think she was the 5th victim, maybe.
Mm.
He was travelling back to Bengaluru from Mandya at the time. I still remember the news reporter had articulated it very well, raising suspicion and also connecting a few old mysterious deaths that were reported in other parts, he says.
Deirdre Chambers.
What a
What a
coincidence.
coincidence.
Not another cyanide death at a temple. So weird.
Fancy that. Do you think there could be something going around here? Yes.
Sub-inspectors Harish Manoj and Imtiaz Patel, I'm sorry for everyone's name I just butchered, worked with me at the time, he said. I asked them to look into the case. Yashodama was working as a priest in the Kempama temple. Be like, that's not right. I don't think KD Kempama would have killed someone in a Kempama temple. Fact check that, someone. In Habal, and we thought of visiting the place. When we went near her house, they said she had received an incoming call from a number twice. When we traced the location of the number, we found that the call location was from Lakshmi Temple in Tumakuru. We went to Tumakuru and found out that Yashodama had received a call from a mobile phone which was stolen from an elderly lady who had a stall near the temple. Umesh says, but then we did not link Yadashama's number and the old lady's contact number because we never anticipated it. But tracking the mobile phone through the IMEI number continued, and we discovered that the person had changed the SIM card and had called the number of a company which was located in Hoskote, Bengaluru Rural. We went to the firm and found out that the call was attended by a man who worked as a cab driver for the company. We started recording his calls. In one of the calls, a woman asked him to come near a private bus stand in Bengaluru. Mwahaha. We followed the man, and the next day around 7 a.m, a woman came with a bag, and we arrested the man and the woman. At the time, they had no clue that they had arrested one of the most wanted women in India, Umesh says. But as we opened the bag, we found some of the jewels and cyanide in it.
Oh,
Why was she
Wow.
in there with a bag with jewels? Anyway.
Silly woman.
Idiot.
So I think she
Take it
just
easy.
killed Nagavini.
she's just on her way home from work.
And she-
For a break. Didn't get a chance to get it home yet. You guys.
Haven't dropped it off
Judgy,
yet.
judgy.
Haven't
Yeah,
dropped
cyanide, cyanide
Just
in all
finish
one
your
bag.
Just leaving the temple to it.
Right.
I don't know how she died. I just took her jewellery.
I'm just leaving the temple toots. It's the toots bit that gets me.
So further probing revealed that the jewels belonged to one of the victims, proving to be the crucial link that helped them trace it all to Kempama, alias Cyanide Malaka. We found that her son was unaware of the murders. Kempama's daughters were married and were not in touch with her. Only her son contacted her, and she had bought him an Indica car. We then interrogated her, leading her to spill the beans. She said she got the cyanide from the jewellery shop where it was used to dissolve gold.
It's a clean shit. That's right.
She also knew that it could kill a person in seconds. In her confession statements, she admitted to killing many women, but also misled us many times, says Umesh. Further probing revealed that Kempama had killed about 8 women between November 1, 2007 and December the 18th, 2007.
Jesus.
Like, that's like a 7-week
like
period.
Nothing. Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
God.
Far out.
Too
Just
right.
Just got to
There were
cock 'em
many
up.
similarities in the deaths, including the link to places of worship, the use of cyanide for the murder, and the fact that all the victims faced personal issues.
Yep.
So then, on one night in 2008, when she was in prison, Umesh's staff called him saying that Kempama had attempted to die by suicide. So they had to shift her to a private hospital. So she was saved, but police officers began to shy away from taking her into custody for investigation, fearing they would face charges in connection with custodial death if she attempted suicide again and succeeded.
So no one wanted to go
Oh.
near her in case she died, and then they said, "Oh, it was our fault."
No one wanted to put her into custody
Because then, if she died in
Yeah.
custody,
because she might
it'd be
kill
their
herself, and then they might be found
Okay.
negligent.
Nonsense.
So just let it go?
Couldn't we just give her a gun?
Just let it slip then.
Do the job yourself, like.
Swanee,
Don't do
just
it again,
let it go. No worries. Yeah.
please.
So they were worried she would sneak cyanide in.
How's she gonna? Oh, anyway, whatever. I mean, she snuck
And
cyanide
her false tooth.
everywhere.
We
She's
discussed this
terrible,
at the start.
Muriel.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
She is terrible. She can't be trusted.
I know,
They're
right?
not.
Kempama, we'd like to have you, we'd like to think that we could trust you here, but...
No.
No, we'd love to welcome you
your
to
actions
our
suggest
prison
otherwise.
cell, but we can't trust you, so you're going to have to stay out on the loose.
Your previous
Exit
behaviour
stage
tells
right.
us that you cannot be trusted. That's
Otherwise,
right.
yes. You have to earn our trust, Kempama.
Again and again.
So basically we give you...
Love your work.
So Kempama was convicted of multiple murders in separate trials. In 2010, she was given a death sentence for the murder of Muniyama. In 2012, she was given another death sentence for the murder of Nagavini. She was given the death penalty. I feel like I said that.
Twice, yeah. Yeah.
Kempama was the first woman to be given the death penalty in Karnataka. Her sentence for Nagavini's murder was commuted to life in prison. The sentence was converted because the court found that there was only circumstantial evidence against Kempama.
I mean, there hasn't been a great deal of evidence against her, apart from people saying she's there and whatever. But, like,
Essentially, she was caught at a bus stop
she was found at a
with
bus stop with
jewels
some jewels and some
that
cyanide.
belonged to someone who died.
Yeah, and she had some cyanide on her at the same time.
Correct. So a good lawyer could say
In the other
that
bag.
she's a
She
gold
was there to
cleaner,
clean it. Yeah.
although she wasn't really, hasn't been for a long time.
But she had been.
It's been kicking around the bottom of the bag for 8 years.
Like a bit of chewy.
Like a chewy, exactly like
Yeah.
a
That's
chewy.
the only
Or a
evidence
pen
against
that
her.
doesn't
That-
work.
Oh, that'd
that's
still
it.
be all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And,
Or a tampon.
okay, so I stole...
Oh!
Hang on a minute.
No, you.
Oh,
fuck.
wow.
We
You're
don't
talking
know.
about an old dusty tampon that's at the bottom of your
No,
handbag.
just like that, like floats you on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
bag. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah,
you
so I
wouldn't
mean, a good
slide
lawyer
up
could have
there.
just said, well, she stole,
It's covered in
she's guilty of stealing jewellery off
bits
a
and
dead
pieces.
body, not of murder. After the Bengaluru City Police announced the arrest of Kempama, alias...
Malaka.
Bang
Well
on.
done.
The media was quick to latch on to the
Malaka.
name Cyanide Malaka, also Malika. Though she did not cooperate with the probe, the victim's family members started to come to us as they knew about her association with the
In
victims,
fairness, I would not have
said.
cooperated with the probe. Anyway,
Why would you?
doesn't
It's
sound
very
pleasant.
invasive.
Yeah.
So the word probe is used.
In my entire career, if I had not been able to fully get to the bottom of any murder case, it will be Malika's. While she was charged with 13 murder cases, she was convicted only in 6. And I believe she has committed many more murders, Umesh said. She was nicknamed Cyanide Malaka by the Trial by One team, but everyone else called her Cyanide Malika because she introduced herself to the last victim as Malika.
Hey, I'm Cyanide Malaka. Would you like some of my holy juice?
Holy juice, not even holy water.
My holy juice, that's right. It's even better. I made it myself.
Do you reckon they started calling it holy juice and then because it wasn't popular,
Just didn't brand
they
very
changed
well.
it to holy
Yeah.
water? That, therefore, is the end of the story.
Concludes the story.
What say you?
The way you told the story, you set us up to believe that Katie Malaka was absolutely the criminal here. And maybe she was, but to your point, she was found in the end, in terms of the evidence, with just a bag of someone's jewellery and some cyanide. It's thin. It's thin on the evidence base.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I struggled with was international crimes in foreign languages. It's super hard to find credible stories about it. So I looked a lot about where was the jury trial, what actually happened in that space, and I couldn't find much. So I feel like she did it and there was enough to convict her. But on the superficial kind of English translated article, they didn't go into a lot of that detail.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because the one I was talking about earlier, which is Jolly Joseph. Jolliana? Do you remember Jolliana Joseph?
Yes.
Same problem in that there's not a great deal of evidence against her. It's just everyone goes,
really common.
she must have just killed everyone. And I think you sent me a few months back or a year or so ago evidence that Jolly's, they'd done a whole lot of forensic testing of the remains of people she's supposed to have killed, and there was no evidence of poisoning.
Nothing.
Yeah. So it's hard to know.
I would love if anyone does listen to this and know the detail of the story.
I don't think
What
we
would
can
they do,
talk
Schmitty?
credibly about. Contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. But I'm relatively confident that we don't have a great deal of credibility about loads of stuff. Anyway,
Or anything.
from a sentencing perspective, though, if I know you got to say you make a decision that she's either a guilty multiple serial killer or she's not, right? So that's the basis of our sentencing, yeah. So let's assume that Katie Campama, let's just say she is a serial killer and she's preyed on the most vulnerable of people. I just think someone like that, if this is what's happened, they should be kind of served up to the most appropriate Hindu god of, war or revenge.
Oh, what's her name? It starts with K and she's got
Kali,
like 6 arms or
Kali, yeah.
What does she do?
Oh, she smashes you in the guts, basically.
kills people. She's like the goddess
Does
of
she?
war or
Although
something.
it turns out,
Okay. I know who she is. I've seen her, but I don't know what she's responded to her for.
but she's also like a big fan of female rage and vengeance. But then, having said that, if Kali is female rage and vengeance, she's, in my mind, being vengeful against men, not against women. And all the pictures of her have got a man's head in one of her many arms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then I'm going to say she's
it's really-
anti-men. She's not anti-women, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to look up who the goddess or god of appropriate management of I love it. It's goddess of revenge, the god of appropriate management of inappropriate preying on weak people, and the god to avenge naughty ladies.
Killer.
Naughty.
You've got a very different interpretation on her because I think she's just pro women killing people,
No, I don't think so.
not necessarily men.
Well, look at all the images of
Only
Kali.
in vengeful situation. If they deserve it, often.
Well, perhaps it is Carly then. But at any rate, should KD be truly guilty of the actions that she is accused of, then I'm quite happy for Carly or any other appropriately vengeful god/goddess to deal with her and smash her in the guts hole. And that is my
Smash her in the
Sentence.
guts.
Sentence.
my sentence, yeah.
Gosh, why didn't
Smash
they
her
have
in
that
the guts hole.
sentence?
Smash her in the guts hole.
It's like a nut punch.
It is. Only in the guts hole. And
Swanee?
you, Swanee?
I was trying to think about where this all sort of stemmed from, and I think our old mate KD Campana, she had sort of these ideas about her station, do you know what I mean? She just wanted to be, well, she just wanted riches. It wasn't so much that she wanted to be, known for anything or achieve anything. It was just stuff, right? She just wanted more. She wanted riches, and she was prepared to put her own family behind that. Like that's what she was. Sorry, she was prepared to put that in front of looking after her own family. Obviously, that's why her husband had to give her the heave ho, I think, because she was probably
Give her the heave
not a good
ho.
influence. Well, did he ask her to leave? Or she didn't ask her to leave. She was
Lighters.
kicked out.
Off
from
you
what I
go,
was
love.
Yeah.
Off you
so
pop.
it's kind of like I'm trying to think of sort of a punishment of her own design, which is she chose to be isolated from her family, and she chose to. She pursued. No, she didn't need to really. I don't think she was that. She was not that poor, was
No.
she? She wasn't in a situation where she was, being brutalized by somebody and had to react to a certain situation. She just chose a path, and she went down it willingly because she wanted money or riches or whatever it is she wanted.
She had delusions
my
of
punishment-
grandeur.
Yeah, I don't know if I did say it before, but I don't know if it's that or she just wanted money. I don't know, but she upsets me because I don't think any of it. I mean, we don't know enough about it, but none of it really seemed to bother her. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like it was all a means to an end. The end was what was the most
She wasn't
important. The money
bothered
was
at
what was
all.
most
She
important.
just killed willy-nilly and didn't
Yes.
seem to have any remorse or... Yeah,
No,
it was
next
very
target,
cold.
next
Yeah.
calculated enough to, or sort of canny enough to be able to sit and watch people's behaviours to work out what their weak point would be. Yeah. And I just think we put her in isolation somewhere, and I wanted to involve the chit fund because I have never heard of such a thing. And I just don't know how I could incorporate a chit fund, but maybe she, contributes massively and misses out as well. But, she's isolated from the chit fund. I just don't get the chit
Or
fund.
maybe she's waist deep in a load
I'm
of
out of
old
my
I
chit
know
for the
we
chit
spent a
fund.
fair amount of time talking about chits, but if you think about a chit as being an IOU, maybe
Yeah.
she can just write out a series of chits that then get cashed in, where my IOU is my left eye, my IOU is my right eye, my IOU is my
Yeah.
tongue, my IOU is my uterus, my IOU is
Jesus,
my
Schmitty.
anus. My IOU is a series of things that then get removed from her over time.
You weren't thinking my IOU is my small toenail.
No,
My
I've
IOU
got a little bit broader
is
than that.
a mole. No, you've gone a little bit deeper than that.
Oh, because this is a woman.
Eyes,
yeah,
tongue,
well,
yes, the
because
whole
I'm
bit.
going a little bit, biblical in the kind
Schmitty.
of revenge stakes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But if the
Cool.
chit fund, maybe she signed off her eyes, her tongue, her labia, her
Her
clitoris,
asthma.
her
Oh.
asthma. What?
Remember she
Her
killed someone
asthma.
who wanted a cure for asthma?
Signed off her asthma. But it's just her lungs to cure the person with asthma, right? She gives her lungs over.
Are you American?
No, why?
Asthma.
Asthma. No, because that's what I
Asthma.
heard. I had my
Asthma.
headset on and I heard you say asthma.
They must take the piss out of us going,
I
asthma
know. Is it so much harder to say asthma?
than asthma. Oh, is
It's
that
like parmesan. Like we would say parmesan, and they say parmesan
Parmesan.
for
Aluminum.
everything. Aluminum, yeah.
We've got we have a family joke where I won't be touched, but someone in our wider family who's no longer with us used to call puffs and cheese parmesan. So we as a family
No.
we call it parmesan.
I love it.
That's a
That's
joke.
Love that.
That's
We
hilarious.
I love
I
it. Isn't it?
love
But
it.
please
It's
feel free to
beautiful.
use it.
Parmesan.
But we like
I
to
love
use it as a family. We won't even have it. So we're passing the parmesan. I'd like some parmesan with that.
That would be made from Frisian
I
cows.
love it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
that was a brilliant
That's
one.
sweet. I'll
Oh,
take that one.
It is a
Take that.
parmesan. Yeah.
Back to you, Swanee, and the whole
Chit
chit
fund.
fund. I'm giving up. I'm letting her have an IOU on parts of herself.
Okay. Thank you for incorporating that for me. Much appreciated.
Clarky?
Clarky?
So she's very base, I think we've established. Like there's nothing inspirational about her. She's just
Race.
There's no hardship, there's no struggle, there's no anything. It's just I
I
want
want more money.
I
She's
want
like a
more. I want more money,
Kardashian.
and I'll do whatever I have to.
So I think I want her to be imprisoned.
Kardashian season 7, episode 1. Chit fund.
Chit fund.
The chit fund.
Malaka.
I'll be waiting for that episode.
Never watched an episode of that. Can't even stand it.
Oh, so you haven't seen the
Pictures.
chit fund episode there?
Clearly.
Maybe I'm about to create it.
This is such a revelation. You know when you have never heard something and you're like, a chit fund? What? It just sounds awful.
So
A chit fund.
you've just changed my whole sentence, but let's go with it.
Sorry,
So
darling.
I want it to be her in her Kardashian mansion that gets flooded, but not by water, but by chit. And I want her to be waist deep in chit.
Chit.
One load of old shit.
In what she thought was going to be a very
Riches.
opulent, palatial house.
Yes.
I want Lou Reed's Midnight Boot Blue
Oh,
to be playing
very.
while she's
Lou Graham,
wading
not
her
Lou
way
Reed.
through. Oh,
Graham.
see, I already got it wrong. So I wanted to be wading through waist deep chit, trying to work out a way to get out of her Kardashian mansion whilst Lou Graham's Midnight Blue is playing. And she's
She's
got to
up
work out
chit
whether she's cherry
creek without a
red
paddle.
or midnight blue.
Who's up chit creek?
Oh, shit, great.
That's right. Yes.
Trying to work it.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done.
All right. Well, that was quite a spectacular episode, given that we have now gone through 5-6 bottles while we were recording that.
Very
So well
impressive.
done. I know, right?
That's quite a pace.
No one would know.
Great job, Clarky. And I particularly want to call out your pronunciation of names and places. Absolutely on point. Brilliant.
I think a lot of other people want to call out my pronunciation on
Is that from
names
your
and
own
places.
Indian background, sweetie?
What a load of old shit.
And when they do want to do that, where would they email us?
At trialbywine@gmail.com.
/
I look forward to receiving your emails.
Good job. And as we say every week, miss you already.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
So,
Love you,
chit
Mel.
chow.
Good chit chat.
A load of
Good
old
chit
shit.
chat. That was good chit chat.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.